Thank you, Marcus. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Free Clean Slate and Expungement Clinic by the Urban Redevelopment Authority, the URA, Pittsburgh Penguins, Laurel Hill Executive Management Committee, and Duquesne University School of Law. I am Tanisha Powell, Senior Associate Counsel for the URA. You may be asking yourself, why are the aforementioned groups coming together to host an expungement clinic, virtually no less? Well, this topic is very important, and here's why. According to a study published in the Harvard Law Review this year, among those legally eligible for expungement, just 6.5% obtain it within 5 years. And on average, within 1 year, those who obtain expungement experience a 22% increase in wages versus the pre-expungement trajectory. In our current social climate, we've been forced to have tough conversations about systemic racism and how we can contribute more to the solution rather than the problem. According to the Prison Policy Institute, our fellow Black Pennsylvanians are overrepresented in incarcerated populations by 35%, and consequently are more adversely affected by the negative assumptions associated with having a criminal record. At the URA, we are required by statute to fight blight and encourage economic development for all Pittsburghers. This clinic serves to inform and provide a critical tool to everyone, but specifically our fellow Black Pittsburghers for positive economic impact. And before I turn it over to Lance, I would like to thank personally Marcus Robinson, who you just heard, our URA's Housing Compliance Analyst, and Hannah Sumanovic, URA's Associate Counsel, on all of your hard work in helping to put this event together. Lance?
Yes, hi. Thanks, Tanisha. Good evening, everyone. My name is Lance Harrell. I actually work for the Hill CDC. Actually, my title, I am the project administrator for the Lower Hill project. So it actually is the Executive Management Committee project administrator. Actually, I'll be working on the Lower Hill. Most of you are aware of the Lower Hill site of the 27-acre site where the Civic Arena used to stand. We'll actually be working on that development project. So if there's anything as far as for the building out, as far as for opportunities with the construction, housing, and other initiatives or other opportunities that will come to the Hill District and the surrounding communities, actually I'll be working on that project to drive those initiatives. So if there's anyone who actually needs any additional information, like I said, I'll be working with that project and within the community to drive those initiatives. Thank you. Next will be Tracy.
Thank you, Lance. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tracy McCants-Lewis. I am Deputy General Counsel and Director of Human Resources for the Pittsburgh Penguins, but I also serve as an adjunct law professor at Duquesne University School of Law, where I teach the Civil Rights Clinic along with Professor Barbara Griffin. So today I'm going to talk to you about opportunities to clear your criminal record in Pennsylvania. Specifically, this talk today is going to be geared towards cleaning your record in Allegheny County. Next slide, please. So why does clearing your criminal record matter? Well, 1 out of 3 Americans has a criminal record of some kind, as Tanisha was talking about. And 1 in 2 children living in the United States with a parent has a record. The internet has made records much more available. When one has a criminal incident, that record will be put onto the online docket here in Allegheny County or in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That's available for anyone to look up and read. There may be also the information in the newspapers via the criminal blotter. So the internet has made criminal records much more available. These records can be used to deny one employment, housing, education, and other opportunities. So many people who are eligible for clearing records don't file. Why don't they file? A lot of people don't know how to file or what to do. Next slide, please. So let's talk about where your records can be found. Your records can be found first and foremost on the Pennsylvania Court's website. Your criminal docket is there, so anyone can look this information up on their own. You can Google PA criminal docket. You'll get to a page under the UJS portal, which stands for United Judicial System Portal in Pennsylvania. You can look up your information by just entering your name and date of birth and the county in which the crime happened or the charge against you was brought. You can also find your record with the Pennsylvania State Police, and you can do an FBI check, background check, but then there are also commercial websites where you can pull your information up. And a lot of employers use those commercial websites. So what is it that you can do once you found out what is on your record? Next slide, please. We're going to talk now about the types of laws that are available to help you clear your record. The first is expungement. An expungement is where your record is completely removed. The second option that's available is called sealing or limited access. And then the last one that I think a lot of people know about is the pardon. Next slide, please. So in Pennsylvania, some of the reminders, we are looking at only Pennsylvania cases, number one, in our particular clinic, the assistance that we provide. And then Pennsylvania cases, we're only, again, looking at cases specifically in Allegheny County. So the students in our law clinic file expungement petitions for cases in Allegheny County specifically, and only state crimes. So if somebody has federal charges, we are not eligible to or available to give you a federal expungement. The only way that federal records can be cleared is through the federal pardon process from the president. Juvenile records are different from adult records. So that's a different process. So we are only dealing with adult expungements, and every case is different. So the information that I'm giving you, this is broad information. On a case-by-case basis, we would have to get your specific information to see if that case is eligible for expungement, sealing, or pardon. Next slide, please. So let's talk about the specific grades and offenses, or grades of offenses of crimes in Pennsylvania. So you have felonies, which are your most serious crimes. So you have a felony 1, felony 2, or felony 3. Those can include things such as aggravated assault, drug offenses, burglary, robbery, especially violent offenses. Those are your felonies. Your less serious charges can include misdemeanors, and they are graded as misdemeanor 1, which is the most serious of those, misdemeanor 2, and then misdemeanor 3. And some examples of misdemeanors can include a simple assault, pushing or shoving someone, drug possession, some type of theft, or driving while under the influence. So those are examples of misdemeanors. And then you have your summary offenses, which are your least serious types of charges. These are typically citations where you may get some type of ticket for it. So those can include things such as traffic citations, running a stop sign, or a stoplight, low-level retail theft, or disorderly conduct. So those are some of the examples of summary offenses. We can go to the next slide. So let's specifically talk about the first way that you can clear your record, and that's expungement. Next slide. Under Pennsylvania law, if you satisfy specific requirements for past criminal charges, non-conviction or summary convictions, those things can be erased or expunged from your record, meaning it will appear as if they never occurred. They're actually erased from your record. Now, to be eligible for expungement, all of your court costs, fees, and fines on that particular case must be paid off. You have to have a zero balance. If we try to file an expungement petition for you in Allegheny County, if there's 50 cents left on that case, it has to be paid before that expungement can be filed. And again, after that expungement, there will be no court record that you were ever charged with that particular crime. Next slide, please. So what is eligible for expungement? What type of dispositions? If there is a charge that was filed against you and it was withdrawn, dismissed, or null prossed, that can be expunged. If you were found not guilty, that can be expunged. Summary convictions. So remember, we just talked about summary offenses. A summary offense can be something like a disorderly conduct. If you were found guilty or you pled guilty to a summary conviction and you have no arrest for 5 years after that, that can be expunged, even though it was a guilty plea or a finding of guilt. If you complete diversionary programs such as probation without verdict or ARD, those charges can be expunged. There may also be some juvenile records that can be expunged, but again, it is a different process for juvenile expungement versus adult expungement. And then if you are 70 years of age or older and you have 10 years of a clean record, no touch with the criminal justice system, you can have convictions and non-convictions expunged from your record. Next slide, please. So what is not eligible for expungement? If you have a felony or a misdemeanor conviction, meaning you were found guilty or you pled guilty to those felonies and some misdemeanors, you cannot have those expunged. They can only be erased or removed from your record after you get a pardon from the governor. And when you get a pardon from the governor, you can then get those matters expunged so that they're removed from your record. But what if, next slide, please. The next process for removing matters from your record is the limited access or sealing option. Next slide. So under what they call the clean slate law, there are some records that can be automatically sealed from public view. That means that an employer can't see it, landlord can't see it, state licensing agencies cannot see these things. Sealing is available for non-convictions or charges that were dropped. Okay, so you were charged with a misdemeanor for drug possession and the charges were dropped or withdrawn, but it's still on your record, that can be sealed. Certain non-violent, low-level misdemeanor convictions, those misdemeanor 2, misdemeanor 3, or ungraded misdemeanors, where you were convicted, after 10 years, if you have no other convictions, no other touch with the criminal justice system, those can be sealed from your record. Summary convictions after 10 years, conviction-free, can also be sealed. There are many first-degree misdemeanors and second-degree misdemeanors, such as simple assault, that can be sealed by filing a petition. So in the first instance, I was talking about them automatically being sealed. The state will look and see that you have nothing on your record for 10 years, and they will automatically seal those convictions. But there are several first-degree misdemeanors and second-degree where you have to file a petition. So in June of 2019, last year, the state started running a computer program that looked at your records electronically, and it sealed those old records. So far, there have been 33.6 million cases throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania that have been sealed. Next page, please. But the catch for this is that eligibility for sealing, it can be complicated, and convictions have to be old. Some of them have to be 20 years or older to be sealed. You will be ineligible to have some of those misdemeanor convictions sealed or hidden from your record if you have any type of felony ones on your record or any type of conviction that could have given you 20 or more years imprisonment. If you have a murder charge on your, or conviction on your record, you are not eligible for the sealing process. So even though these records are sealed from view from, again, employers, landlords, licensing agencies, the records will still be available to law enforcement. Law enforcement, including the FBI, will still be able to see those records. So for both the automatic and then the petition-based, meaning that you have to file for the sealing, you also have to have court-ordered financial obligations must be paid, meaning that your court costs, fees, and fines have to have a zero balance in order for you to be able to take advantage of the sealing process. Next slide, please. But there's great news. The law now specifically says that applicants do not have to disclose that your record has been sealed or expunged to an employer or landlord. When you fill out that form for a job application or fill out an application for housing, and it asks if you have any past convictions, if your record has been sealed or expunged, you do not have to disclose that. You can say no. Sealed cases are no longer considered to be viewed by occupational licensing agencies. So for example, if you're going into nursing and your record has been sealed, it is sealed. That licensing agency will not have access to see it. Expunged and sealed cases are not convictions, so prohibiting employment under state or federal law. So they should not prohibit you from employment once your case is sealed or expunged. Next slide, please. So what's the process? The process is very similar for both expungements and petition-based sealing. The first step is that you have to request a copy of your record from the Pennsylvania State Police. That record is called your access and review, and it's the complete record of your criminal background versus a record for volunteering that you can get from the state police. You specifically want to get your access and review criminal record, and it costs $20. Once you get that record in Allegheny County, you have 60 days to use it. There's a date in the bottom right-hand corner of the access and review. Within 60 days, you have to file your petition with the court. In Allegheny County, to file your case, it's $232 per case. So for example, if you have 5 charges in one case, it's $232. If you have 2 separate cases, 2 separate incidents, it's $232 per separate case to file in Allegheny County that petition. Once your case is filed with the Allegheny County Court, a copy of your petition for expungement goes to the district attorney. A copy of your filing for expungement or for limited sealing goes to the district attorney. The district attorney has an opportunity to object. If they do not object and your order is granted by the court, you will receive a copy of that order in the mail. That order then directs all of the agencies that touch that particular case. They're ordered to destroy or seal their files, their records of that case. So that means if there's 1 charge on a particular case, that entire case is thrown away. If there are only certain things that are coming off that are being expunged, they will actually redact and take a marker through so that you can no longer see it. So that order is the only proof that you have that that record once exists. Next slide, please. So if expungement and if sealing or limited access are not available to you, the last option in Pennsylvania is a pardon with the governor. Next slide, please. So what's a pardon? A pardon is a request to the governor that there be a removal of your past felony or misdemeanor convictions. It's basically an act of forgiveness. It's the governor saying, I am forgiving this person for these past convictions and now giving them an opportunity to have their record expunged. The process can take several years. Right now, it appears that it's a maybe 2.5-year process to get a pardon. Again, once you get the pardon from the governor, you then have to go back through the process to have your record expunged. So the process that I just described is what you would have to do after you get the pardon to get those records completely removed from your criminal record. Next slide, please. So what is the process? The process for a pardon, you would have to complete a pardon application, which is available free online. There is some good news actually, or new news, with regard to the pardon process in Allegheny County. Neighborhood Legal Services and the Pro Bono Association, which is run by Barbara Griffin here in Allegheny County with the Allegheny County Bar Foundation, they will be providing limited access or opportunity for people to get pardon assistance. So we can give you more information. Perhaps we can put that in the chat later in the presentation today. But you would get a pardon application, which is free online. If you Google PA pardons, you'll go to their website and you can download the application. It is a PDF application. We recommend that you get letters of recommendation that you would submit with your application. Also, if you've finished school or got any types of certificates, degrees, you'll want to include copies of that. Any volunteer activities that you work in, all the good stuff. You want to show the pardon board that this is what you're doing now. You're telling the pardon board, yes, I agree that these things happened in my past, but you want to tell them about all that good stuff in the middle and where you are right now. If your application is accepted, once you submit it to the pardon board, they will go through an investigation. They'll look at everything that you've submitted. That investigation includes coming to talk to you. They will probably reach out to the individuals that sent letters of recommendation for you, and they'll talk to people in your community. They want to know who you are. What is your community reputation? Once that is done, a report will be written about the applicant, and it will go to the pardon board. The pardon board is made up of 5 individuals. It's the lieutenant governor, the attorney general. There is a victims advocate. There is a criminal justice specialist and a psychiatrist. Those 5 individuals will look at that report and they will make a recommendation as to whether or not you should be selected for a public hearing. Right now, the process has changed a little bit, and sometimes that public hearing can be waived. If you get 2 of 5 board members that recommend you to come to a public hearing, you will come to a hearing. If you get a unanimous vote, what we're seeing right now is they are waiving that public hearing and just making their decision on whether or not to recommend you for a pardon to the governor based upon the file. So at that public hearing, that is where the board, those 5 members, vote as to whether or not they are going to give a recommendation to the governor for your pardon. And at the hearing, you have to have at least 3 out of the 5 members vote in your favor to receive a recommendation for pardon from the governor. Once that recommendation goes to the governor from the pardon board, you have to wait for the governor's decision. There is no specific time limit as to when that will come. Next slide, please. And if I can also say, the hearing that you go to for a pardon is typically in Harrisburg. With COVID-19, they have been making the hearings available via Zoom. So that's something that, not sure if that will change in the future, but as of right now, they are having Zoom hearings. Help is available. So if your income is very low, you may be able to get help from the law clinic for free. Currently, help for expungements and sealings is being provided through participation in a survey, research survey that we are doing at Duquesne Law School, along with Neighborhood Legal Services. And through this study, you will either get full representation with a student helping you to file your complete petition for you, or you may get randomized to do your own expungement petition. We have developed self-help materials to assist you with doing that. And information on pardons is also available on the state website. The process is a lot simpler. It's been modified, and I would recommend that you go look at the website for information that they have on pardons. Next slide, please. I'd also like to mention that the Public Defender's Office is also providing assistance with expungements. You can reach out to them, go onto the website and look at the Public Defender's Office for assistance with expungements. We're going to take questions a little later in the program, but I thank you all for your attention. And next, I think we're going to turn it over to Partner for Work.
Hello, thank you, Tracy. Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank the URA for inviting Partner for Work to be a part of this conversation, because we definitely want to make sure that we can connect individuals to employment opportunities. So my name is Marquise Long. I am the Director of Outreach and Inclusion with Partner for Work. I've been with the organization for a little over 3 years now. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do at Partner for Work. If you're not familiar with Partner for Work, we are the workforce board for the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County. We oversee the PA Career Link system, which helps individuals seek employment opportunity. So I wanted to share just a little bit about some of the things that you can do in order to connect, or that we can help you do to connect you with employment opportunities. The first thing, currently we are working with Amazon, who's looking to hire a ton of individuals by the end of the year. We are working with them to identify possible candidates who can meet the needs of the jobs that they are trying to fulfill. The opportunities will be within their fulfillment center, which will be located in Imperial, PA, which is out near the airport. There will be opportunities to where Amazon will be looking to provide some transportation for those who can work but don't have the transportation means to get out there. Amazon is looking to provide some free transportation services. And if that's something that you are interested in getting involved with, I will put in the questions and answer link, I believe. I can add the contact information for the individuals who are working specifically for Amazon on identifying recruitment opportunities. A few other things that's happening as it relates to the PA Career Link system. We have developed a COVID now hiring portal. So if you go to the PA Career Link, which is www.pacareerlink.com, you will see there is a COVID portal of employers within our region or in our local area who's currently hiring. Those employment opportunities could come from healthcare, construction, retail, whatever it is, but there are employers that will meet your needs that are actually looking for people as of right now. In addition to the employment, there are training opportunities for young people or young adults to help them upskill themselves if they are interested in, construction, advanced manufacturing, the retail, hospitality. There are some opportunities in order to connect with some organizations that we work with. So a few of those, we have an employment and training program called Strive. And that's to be eligible, you have to be between the ages of 18 and 24. And what will happen then is that we will connect you with a organization based on your interests, what you're looking to do. So if you say construction, we will connect you with an organization called APRI, which is A. Philip Randolph Institute. And they have a construction training program focused on helping individuals with records try to get upskilled, as well as access to opportunities, whether it's union or non-union. But that's just one of the opportunities that you can get involved with. We are also in the process of adopting and identifying some new potential opportunities to work with those who are currently in or getting out of Allegheny County, ACJ, and working with some employers who will take advantage of the talents for those who are coming out of ACJ, so we can make sure that you can get back to employment, get back to the community, and whatever else it is that you are looking to do. So those are just a few opportunities that we are doing in order to connect with individuals who may have records, identifying employers who's willing to hire you all. Like I said, I will put the contact information for those Amazon jobs within the questions and answers. And in my contact information, if you have any other questions regarding our programming or anything that we can do to try to help support you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marquise. Always a pleasure. Hello, everyone. My name is Pierce Robinson. I'm the Business Solutions Officer as well as the Community Affairs Officer at the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh. I'm going to be really brief. I wanted to just thank everyone for attending this evening, thank all of our panelists, and I just wanted to let everyone know that who's on this call that this is the first step of the URA's commitment as well as the Pittsburgh Penguins, Duquesne Law to, this is going to be a series. This clinic isn't going to be just a one-off thing. We are actually in the process of opening a satellite location on the Hill District at the Hill House. It's primarily going to be operating workforce opportunities, but we will also have these clinics on a pretty regular basis. So you'll be able to get some of the help and support that you need. So with that, there's some more questions coming in. Just put your questions in the Q&A, and I'm going to start the Q&A right now and start sending some of these questions to Tracy. So let me get started. The first question is, let's see. Can you get an F3 felony expunged?
So a felony 3, if it's a conviction, if you were convicted, meaning you were found guilty or you pled guilty, that cannot be expunged. The only way that you can get that off of your record is through a pardon. So again, if you're convicted, if you were found guilty or pled guilty, pardon. If it was withdrawn or dismissed, you can get that expunged. Again, so long as you have a 0 balance on your case.
Thank you. Okay, next question. Where can we find information on expungement of a juvenile summary offense?
Duquesne University School of Law, we have a clinic, the Juvenile Defender Clinic. If you go to www.duq.edu, you can go to the university's website, look up the law school, go to the law clinic. Again, that was the Juvenile Defender Clinic. They do juvenile expungements.
Thank you. Will there be written information provided via email, perhaps? And I answered that. I was just saying that, the follow-up, the information will be provided, and we can, follow up with consultations and different things like that. But you could provide more context, Tracy, about the follow-up.
Yes, individuals signed up for this seminar, but you can reach out to Duquesne Law School if you're in need of expungement services, and we can take your contact information. You can call 412-396-4704 or 412-396-1686. We can put you in, well, you'll be in touch with resources at the law clinic, and we can schedule a one-on-one meeting with you to see if you are eligible for expungement services.
Thank you. Next is, why are non-convictions and drop charges not automatically sealed immediately?
So they are. Now under the law, if you have a summary conviction that was withdrawn or dismissed, it is now sealed. However, there are some individuals that want to make sure it's completely gone from their record. So a sealing, it's still on your record. There's just very limited access to that. Some individuals want to make sure that it's really a belt and suspenders type of opportunity to have your record expunged, meaning it's completely gone. But Pennsylvania has changed the law now where if you do have a non-conviction of summary offenses, they will automatically be sealed. They're not expunged automatically, but just sealed.
Thank you. Next is, what if when you filed for your access and review and then a pandemic happens and you receive your access and review long after your 60 days, what happens?
I would recommend, if that happens, if you keep the envelope so that you can see when it was postmarked, and I would still try to file it with Allegheny County, let them know that it came late in the mail. So the envelope will have the postmark date on it, which may, again, show that shortness in time from the date that it was actually prepared and sent.
Thank you. Next is, how many charges can you have sealed?
There's no limit. Again, the only limitation with regard to sealing is if the individual has some type of charge or conviction that would prohibit sealing, such as a felony 1 conviction, things such as that.
Thank you. How long after receiving an expungement order does an agency have to destroy records? Are they compelled to act swiftly, or is it at the agency's leisure?
I won't say it's at the agency's leisure. It depends on the processing time of that specific agency. So on the order, it's that order is going to the police department that effectuated the arrest. It's going to the district attorney's office. Well, they have it. It's going to the state court system. It's going to the magistrate's court if they were involved. The magistrate's court that was involved, if it is at the court of common pleas level, all of those different agencies will get it. It may take some time because they have to physically pull the records on occasion to take some of that information off or mark it out. So I recommend giving it at least 6 months, going back and checking to make sure it's removed from your record. On occasion, the state police will send out a form indicating that their records have also been expunged. That can also serve as an indicator that all of the agencies have removed that particular charge from your record.
Thank you. Next one is, what if you're close to your 5 years without being in the system? Will your expungements be considered or granted?
Yes, so you do have to wait that 5-year period. If you're close, the best advice that I can give, you can file on year 5, day 1, but I wouldn't try and do it a lot earlier than that.
Thank you. I am from Allegheny County, but currently live in Los Angeles. Do you know any resources nationwide to help people with records to get employment?
So every state will have some form of a workforce board. And if you're currently living in Los Angeles, you should Google Workforce Development Board, City of Los Angeles. They will be able to help you identify employment opportunities out in that area and hopefully connect you to training opportunities.
Thank you. This next one, Marquise, is actually just someone saying that they're really interested in the Amazon opportunity. So if you can post that somewhere in the Q&A, that would be great.
So I tried to post it in the Q&A here, but I couldn't. If you followed the link on Facebook, one of my colleagues have actually posted a bunch of the links that I had mentioned onto the Facebook chat.
Thank you.
And that Facebook chat can be found by visiting the URA's Facebook page. Just when you're in Facebook, search URA, and you should get to the page.
Thank you, Daniel. Next question is, does a change in the governor have a detrimental impact on the pardon process?
I won't say it would have a detrimental impact. It could have an impact. What we've seen recently with Governor Wolf, his administration, and Lieutenant Governor Fetterman, the process has become easier. They have streamlined the process under Secretary Flood. So there could possibly be a change in the process, not an administrative change in the process with a new administration, but I can't say that it would be detrimental.
Thank you. These next two are asking for information about consultations and how to get help. Was that first slide that we used in the PowerPoint, did that have the contact information? Is there a way we could put that back on the screen, or?
And I can I'll say the number again. It's 412-396-4704. Or you can email Law Clinic, CLINIC, @duq.edu.
Thank you.
And Tracy, I just posted that in the Q&A, so hopefully people should be able to see that now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Next question was asking about Amazon again. Okay, next question. How long after your last conviction do you need to wait in order to apply for a pardon?
Great question. I recommend individuals to wait at least 4 to 5 years past that last conviction. You want to give the pardon board an opportunity to see your rehabilitation. That's what they're looking for. and I'm kind of doing that in air quotes, they want to see that you have some time between the conviction and when you file for a pardon.
Thank you. This question is actually for Marquise. I am the director of a home healthcare agency. How can we be added as a resource for people looking to work?
Yes, so if you are looking to connect with us, I can give my email address, and that's for any other possible employers that are on this call. My email is m, as in Mark, long, L-O-N-G, at partner, the number 4, work.org. And if you email me, I can definitely connect you with our One PA career link, but then connect you with our industry partnership as well, so we can try to get you on our list as a resource and possibly some other opportunities.
Thank you. Next question. Is there any way around the 10-year waiting period for expungement or sealing, or would a pardon be my only hope? Unfortunately, I have an active job offer that may be rescinded due to a DUI misdemeanor if I cannot quickly have it removed from my record.
Yeah, even with the pardon process, it's not a quick process to get a conviction removed from your record. You may want to look for this individual. I'm not sure if there were other charges on that particular case where there was a non-conviction that you can get expunged, and to show that employer that you're actively working on getting it removed, but there is no quick way to get it removed, probably not in time with regard to having an active job offer, unfortunately. But to that individual, if you call the law clinic at that number 412-396-4704, we can give a more detailed explanation with a one-on-one review of the circumstances.
Thank you. Next question is, should I get a NOL pros seal before I try to get a pardon? I'm not sure exactly what that NOL means.
Sure, and cross. You may be able to get that expunged prior to getting a pardon. Again, without having specific information on that particular case, you can call the law clinic at 412-396-4704. I will say it does look better on your application for a pardon if you do have things that can be expunged from your record or from a particular case, if you have those expunged before you go to the hearing. So you don't necessarily have to have them expunged or removed from your record now before filing for your pardon, but it does clean up your record a lot. And so it shows the pardon board that you've been trying to clear your record up, and then you're using this last resort of a pardon to really get your record completely clean.
Thank you. Next question. I had my ID stolen. There's a lot of charges that don't apply to me.
We've seen this on occasion. If you have any type of record showing that your identification was stolen and what charges were filed under when the ID was stolen, there have been times where you can get some of those charges expunged. Again, I would need more specifics, so I'd recommend you call the law clinic and see if it's something that we can talk to you about.
Thank you. This next question is for me. When will workforce move into the Hill House? So we're actually in a process of configuring the budgets right now. Once those budgets are reviewed, then we'll put out an RFP that and get some bids back in order to start construction. But we're hopeful for hopefully maybe get started at the end of this year, maybe first quarter 2021. But this is a very important initiative for the URA, so we are moving, as quickly as we can to get this open and get this started. Next question. How does the expungement order affect non-government agencies that have access to your record? What is the process for removing the information from their databases?
Yes, so there are a lot of non-government agencies that can run checks. They take information from a lot of court docket sites. They'll put it onto their website, or they are background check companies. Once you have your record expunged, because an order for an expungement does not go to those agencies asking them to remove those records, Once you have your order, you can reach out to that agency, send them a copy of the order, and tell them that this needs to be removed so that their records are now accurate. But again, there is no court order to those agencies, those non-governmental agencies, to asking them or telling them, directing them to remove the record. But you can do that once you give the order. Reach out to them.
Thank you. Next question is, what if you were arrested for something but not charged or convicted of it?
Yes, if you were arrested but not charged or convicted, that is an arrest record, and you can have that removed from your record by expungement. So that's like you were charged, or I'm sorry, you were that charge was dismissed or withdrawn, but it's still on your record. You can have that expunged.
Thank you. Where would we go for free or low cost consulting? You could just follow that information that's on the screen. Hopefully you're not on a call and you can see the screen. 412-396-4704 or law clinic as one word at duq.edu. Next question is, what if you got charges in another county, but it was PA? Can I still file for my expungement in Allegheny?
No, so if a charge or a conviction happened in that county, you have to file your expungement petition in that particular county.
Thank you. When records are sealed, can a person contact PennDOT to get their driving privileges back? My son can't drive until 2023. This makes it extremely hard to find work. Yes, so
Sealing a criminal record is a little bit different from resumption of driving privileges. It's a different process, unfortunately.
Thank you. I have a null pros case. Will that hurt my chances of getting a pardon on a 10 conviction from 10 years ago?
It should not, if I understand the question. When you're filing for a pardon, they really want to look at what you have. That should not hurt at all.
Thank you. What are the law clinic's hours of operations?
Right now, because of COVID, we have limited people that are in the clinic, but we are operating via email. So you can call. We do sometimes make accommodations to meet people after typical work hours, like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So please call the law clinic at 412-396-4704 for specific information.
Thank you. Can you please restate the other options in receiving assistance and filing for pardons?
Yes, Neighborhood Legal Services Association and the Pro Bono Center. Pardon me, Professor Griffin, if you're still on, do you want to join in and give information on that? I'm looking it up. Not sure if she's still on.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I think she might have signed off.
Okay, here, I found it. One moment. So, Neighborhood Legal Services Association and the Pro Bono Center are providing free legal help to file pardon applications. They're going to be doing this through November 30th, 2020. To be eligible, the person has to have low income, meaning they're 25% above the poverty level, have nonviolent criminal history, they have no convictions or arrests within the last 5 years, and they have to show that they've been denied employment, housing, or educational opportunities. I do have a number. Maybe you guys can put this in the chat for assistance with pardons. To see if they're eligible, they can call 412-402-6606. Again, that's 412-402-6606.
Thank you. Next question. When I email the law clinic, what information do I need to include in my email?
Please give us your name, give us a phone number so that we can call you back, and also indicate that you're contacting us about expungement services. So expungement services, your name, and a telephone number.
Thank you. Next question. Is there a resource that shows what non-government agencies have your criminal history to be able to send an expungement order to, or is there some resource group that helps with this process of removing information from their databases?
I'm not sure of a resource group that can do that. A lot of times if an individual has their record expunged, let's say, and they apply for a job and the employer comes back and says, I found this on your record, they are likely using some type of outside job search or record clearing organization. You can ask for that information, and they should give you the name, contact information for that particular agency, and you can contact them. But I do not know of one large group or resource that has all of those. You can probably Google background check organizations and start there.
Thank you. What about a person that has the same identical name as you, but it's not you with criminal charges?
Again, I think this is the same individual that may have had their, maybe not. If you would have to look at the particular cases, see if there's any information where you can prove that that is not you. You were not, in town, or you were working when this alleged crime happened by this other individual. A lot of times, it might be date of birth. You're going to have to check and see if the different date of birth, those types of things, because a lot of the information that's put into your criminal record, it's done manually. Somebody's entering that information, and human error can sometimes result in errors that are on your record.
Okay, last question. Does a simple assault disqualify you from, oh shoot, Daniel, I think you took that off.
No, I read it. It said, does a simple assault disqualify you from services with Neighborhood Legal Services or the Pro Bono Center? If that's for a pardon, a simple assault should not. A simple assault could be as minor as a push, but for violent offenses, for pardon help from those two agencies, yes, you would be disqualified for violent offenses.
Thank you. Someone had a general question about charges you can expunge and ones you can't.
So what can be expunged? Charges that can be expunged are charges. These are not non-convictions. So if you were charged with something, let's say I was charged with simple assault, and when I got to court, the charge was withdrawn. That could be expunged because I wasn't convicted. I didn't plead guilty and I wasn't found guilty. So that can be expunged. Any convictions where you pled guilty, those cannot typically be expunged. The only conviction that can be expunged, you have to be 70 years or older with 10 years of no record. You can get those convictions expunged. You can also get a summary conviction expunged if it was done in, it's older than 5 years ago and you have no criminal record. Any other convictions, you're either going to look for it to be sealed, or you have to get a pardon.
Thank you. That was actually the last question. Tracy, do you have any closing thoughts?
I'd like to just thank everybody for joining us tonight. I'd like to thank the Urban Redevelopment Authority, Partner for Work, the Lower Hill Development Community Collaboration Implementation Plan, EMC, with Lance Harrell, and the Pittsburgh Penguins for providing opportunity to come and speak today on this very important topic. As Lance talked about, and Tanisha, we want to make sure that people have opportunities to get employment. And the Pittsburgh Penguins have an interest in ensuring that individuals can work on the Lower Hill development site, both working to create the site and then working on the site once it is finalized. So again, this joint venture between these agencies is a wonderful opportunity for all of us to ensure that people can get back to work. So thank you very much. Thank you again.
Thank you. So we want to leave the screen up. So please take down the information, screenshot it, probably be the easiest way to follow up. The phone number for anyone who is listening and can't see the screen, Again, it's 412-396-4704. And the email address is lawclinic as one word @duq.edu. I wanted to send a special thanks to all of our panelists, all the hard workers in the URA. You guys did a wonderful job putting this together. And like I told everyone before, this is just the first clinic. We will have more of these clinics to show our commitment to helping the citizens of Pittsburgh and the region get things off the record and hopefully get gainful employment. So